The company stuffed me into a dating show as an observer to serve as a contrast group for Song Xinyu, the young actress from the same company. On the show, I said that I was already married and had children, and Song Xinyu would say that she didn't want to get married, saying that all men are more or less the same. I said my husband would give me pocket money, and she said that women should have their own careers and be independent. I said my child is very well behaved and sensible, and she said that women must never be constrained by the identity of a mother. Song Xinyu's sober remarks went viral directly, and her popularity soared. However, before the romance variety show ended, she had a downfall. On the contrary, it was me, whom she labeled as a docile wife, who became an overnight sensation almost instantly. I was packed up by the company overnight and sent to a live romance variety show. Because I offended the boss's nephew, they want me, a married child, having small star from the 18th tier, to be an observer on a dating variety show, serving as a control group for the newly recruited young actress, who is also an observer in the company. I was about to terminate my contract and quit the industry, but they had already signed the contract. So I had to take the car, arranged by the company, to the filming location of the program team. This is a live dating variety show featuring ordinary people, set in the romantic coastal city of our city. In addition to the 4 pairs of ordinary people who are going to be matched, 5 love observers are also arranged. Of course, the observers also live with the guests in the villa, arranged by the program team, but they are on different floors. When I hurried over, the other guests had already chosen their rooms, and were sitting in the living room chatting. Seeing me carrying the box alone without an assistant by my side, they all had different expressions. I glanced around, and each of these people had an even more impressive background than the last. There is the renowned film actress Bai Feng, the newly emerging popular young actor Qin Xinyuan, and the veteran singer Lu Sheng. Even Zhao Hua Song Xinyu, who needed me to be the control group, just played the role of the second female lead in a hit drama and gained quite a few fans. Compared with them, I, as a nobody in the entertainment industry, seem a bit out of place. The program is in the form of a live broadcast, and originally, all the bullet comments were fans praising wildly. After I appeared, there was an eerie pause. After a long time, someone finally asked a question.
Who is this? Is she also a guest?
I just searched on Baidu, and it seems that this person named Lu Jia has only acted as the 4th or 5th female lead in a few bad dramas.
How could the program team invite such an obscure celebrity? Could it be that they brought in investment to ride on the popularity?
I hope she will be honest and not cause trouble, and stay away from our Xinyuan.
Netizens seem to be convinced that I have ulterior motives. Song Xinyu, who works in the same company as me, stood up from the sofa and walked towards me. Clearly, we had never met before, yet she acted as if she knew me very well, looking somewhat surprised.
Oh, the last guest is actually you, Sister Jia. When my agent told me about it, I thought he was joking. After all, you haven't been out for a long time because of your family.
With this acting skill, if she had put even a little more effort into acting, she wouldn't have ended up with only one role that became popular just because of the good character setup. I held back from rolling my eyes at her for a long time, and answered her question very sincerely.
No, I'm just muddled. No roles to film.
Probably not expecting me to play outside the rules, Song Xinyu froze. She let out an ah for a long time, and didn't know how to respond. Because she seemed to have low emotional intelligence, the bullet comments weren't very friendly to me either. That nobody actually has quite a self-awareness.
Our Xinyu is so pitiful. It's clearly out of concern, but this nobody looks like she has the vibe of a virtuous wife and good mother.
Indeed, she can't possibly think she's being funny like this, right? Song Xinyu looks so awkward.
Seeing that Song Xinyu hadn't spoken for a long time, I didn't take the initiative to start a conversation either. I picked up the suitcase and was about to go upstairs. Song Xinyu finally came to her senses and quickly called out to Qin Xinyuan, who was on good terms with her.
Xinyuan brother, Sister Jia's luggage seems very heavy. Can you help her?
Of course.
Qin Xinyuan smiled gently at her. Qin Shin-yoon is the second male lead in that hit drama, and also the CP of the character played by Song Shin-yu. Seeing their interactions, CP fans have started to get excited.
It's so shippable, so shippable. Those who can ship out Ding Jin Xiang Rong are in trouble.
See that? She subconsciously chose our Shin Yuan. She loves it so much.
Qin Chin-wan wanted to reach out to take my luggage. I quickly reminded.
Be careful. This suitcase is very heavy.
It's okay. I exercise regularly.
He seemed to pay no attention to my words at all. Trying to show off, he attempted to lift my suitcase with one hand. As a result, the box only shook a little. Qin Xinwan fell silent, and sweat began to break out on his forehead.
Yes, it is quite heavy.
He could only use both arms to exert strength, and somehow managed to lift the box, but it still trembled unsteadily. After taking 2 steps, he didn't hold it steady at all, and dropped the box. Qin Shunwan felt a little embarrassed and tried to make up for it by saying,
Your girl's suitcases are really terrifying. Did you move your entire home here?
Fans echoed in the bullet comments.
Ha ha ha, brother Shin Yuan was taught a lesson by the girl's luggage.
To be honest, girls' suitcases are really heavy.
Why does this obscure celebrity bring so many things? Is she really a regular guest? I can't stand it. I don't like her.
Not a fan, +1. It's a pity it's a live broadcast. There's no way to skip it.
I can't see what's being said in the bullet comments. But when the box fell to the ground, I still felt a bit upset, so I quickly went over to pick it up.
Sorry, my suitcase is really not light.
Apologized to Qin Xinwan, and then, in front of everyone, I steadily picked up the suitcase.
I forgot. Sister Jia is really strong. I was being meddlesome.
Song Shin-yu quickly leaned over to explain.
Sister Jia, I'm really curious. How did you get so strong?
Actually, my suitcase isn't particularly heavy. It's just that Qin Xinwan is really weak. However, even though I'm going to retire from the industry, I don't want to offend anyone again. Certainly, I can't tell the truth. I just made up a reason casually.
Probably it's because of the exercise from holding the baby before.
When I said I would hold the baby, Song Shin-yu's eyes flickered. She sighed, looking quite regretful.
Sigh, it's really hard to be a mother, as expected. It's better not to get married and have children. You'll be completely free.
I didn't really feel anything about what she said. After all, times are tough now. Raising a child requires too much money and energy, and it's true that fewer and fewer young people are willing to have children. It's just that I didn't expect Song Shin-yu to suddenly change the topic and direct her attack at me again. Sister Jia, although I'm a bit younger than you, I still want to advise you that us women should love ourselves more.
Be yourself first, then be someone else's mother and wife. After all, many men nowadays are unreliable. If you work so hard and endure so much, you might end up feeling wronged.
I blinked, feeling a bit speechless. She and I weren't close at all, and she had no idea about my personality. I don't know why the way I get along with my family. Just because I got married and had children, I was directly labeled as not loving myself. Netizens were quite moved by her words.
So clear-headed and independent. I really love this kind of strong female lead speech.
Exactly. Staying unmarried and childless keeps your youth forever. Sisters, never let those bad men trick you into going home to be their nannies.
Our Shin Yuan has a long road ahead of him in pursuing his wife both in and out of the drama.
There are also a few people who feel uncomfortable and raise doubts.
But Lujia just said that she has great strength because she needs to hold the child. Is there any need to take it to such an extreme?
Married with children, I feel offended.
However, the voices of this small group of people were quickly drowned out. Most of the bullet comments still praise Song Shin-yu for being sober. After thoroughly asserting her presence through me, Song Shin-yu was probably satisfied and no longer stopped me from chatting about this and that. I finally went upstairs too and put my luggage back in the room. I just wanted to call my husband to let him know I was safe when the phone installed by the program team in the room rang. Urged our guests to go to the observation room in a hurry. It turns out that the amateur guests are in place. The amateur guests of the dating show have all gone through a selection process, and at least their looks don't hold them back much. A handsome guy and a beautiful girl, living under the same roof, sparked quite a lot of chemistry on the first day they met. Especially among them are the third male lead Ki Ziming and the second female lead Meng Qi. Just one glance, Ki Ziming's eyes locked onto Meng Qi. All the guests in the observation room wore expressions of understanding.
Oh, this guy has such a straightforward look. He's fallen in love at first sight.
He owed a singer, Lu Sheng, made a joke. Next, Ki Ziming's performance was also very enthusiastic. While others were still watching, he had already started to take bold actions, showering Meng Qi with attentions. In a separate one-on-one chat, he also frankly admitted that he is a total love brain, and will even hand over his salary card to his girlfriend in the future.
This guy is good. Being so straightforward like this is really charming. It seems there's already a hint of something between him and Cola.
Best Actress Bai Feng commented with a smile, as if she saw through everything.
Handing over the salary card really makes people feel secure. But isn't it a bit too early for them to talk about this since they just met?
I couldn't help but say something.
How can someone be so direct just after meeting?
Song Xinyu glanced at me and asked.
After Sister Jia married her husband, does he also hand over his salary card?
I don't really like communicating with her. But because the camera was rolling, I had to be patient and said, no. But he gives me pocket money, and I can buy whatever I want. Hearing me say this, Song Xinyu laughed and said,
Sister Jia, you're really love-struck. It's just a little pocket money. He must get paid more even if he finds a nanny outside, right? In my opinion, women should have their own careers and be independent. Only the money they earn themselves can give them confidence. Although I come from an ordinary background, I have already bought my first house in City S with my film remuneration, which has given me my own confidence. Sister Jia, snap out of it. What can his pocket money for you even buy?
All the bullet comments are praising her and scolding me.
What on earth are these sweet wife guests thinking? I really can't stand it anymore. How can they even bring up pocket money? It's absolutely laughable.
Indeed, although Song Xinyu is a bit younger, her thinking is really mature. She's a sensible actress. Love her, love her.
Sisters, all of you should focus on your careers and make a lot of money.
I really want to skip this part with the doting wife guest. Let me scold the program team again. Why is a dating show doing a live broadcast?
Live streaming is really interesting. Isn't it better to directly watch the ending at the back speed? No need to struggle to keep up with updates anymore. Sob sob.
I don't even need to think to guess that the bullet comments must all be scolding me. I sighed and said,
My husband gives me 1 million yuan every month. It's really hard for me to refuse.
Although it's said that one should have integrity, that's 1 million yuan. Who can resist 1 million yuan as pocket money? Song Xinyu's triumphant expression froze on her face. After a long while, she forced an awkward smile and said, Sister Jia, you're really good at joking. If you had so much pocket money, why would you still be in the entertainment industry? I have some doubts.
Didn't you just say that one should have their own career? Isn't this my own career?
But she was convinced that I was lying. She just looked at me helplessly, as if she couldn't do anything about me.
1 million a month. Liu Jia really dares to brag. Does she know what that means?
Wow, I don't believe that if she earns 1 million a month, she would still enter the entertainment industry. That's such an exaggerated lie, isn't it?
Why do I feel that Song Xinyu's words are indeed contradictory? Anyway, no matter how I think about it, it's strange.
Hehe, are you also a doting wife upstairs? Why is what our Xinyu said strange? She was just kindly advising.
The bullet comments were in an uproar, and naturally, the program team wouldn't miss any marketing opportunities. And the first day of the live broadcast, several entries appeared on the hot search list. Hashtag Song Xinyu is sober and independent. Hashtag Song Xinyu. A woman should have her own career. Ki Ziming. Direct approach. Liu Jia's spoiled wife. Liu Gia. 1 million pocket money. There are a total of 5 entries, and 2 of them are mine. This is a treatment I never had when I was a has-been actor before. However, unlike Song Xinyu, who received an overwhelming amount of praise, The comments under my 2 trending topics are all scolding me. The program team deliberately edited some clips of my speeches for popularity. After I came across them, I was shocked myself. They really dare to edit. In this short 1-minute video, all the words I mentioned about husband and child have been edited out. Even I find it exaggerated when I look at it myself, let alone netizens who don't know the truth. Song Shin-yu successfully established a likable and sober persona, in contrast to me. Even changed her personal signature on Weibo to stay away from men overnight, gaining countless followers. The next day, when I got up and walked out of the room, I saw Song Shin-yu sitting at the dining table, having breakfast in a good mood. When she saw me come out, Song Shin-yu's smile faded a little. Even though I wasn't standing right in front of her, I could still feel her disdain for me.
Can you stop standing there? Don't you know the live broadcast will start soon? The company sent you here to set me off, not to stand there like a pillar. A married old woman with children, can't you recognize your own identity?
I was scolded by her head-on. I frowned and was about to retort, but the camera was turned on. Song Shin-yu made a direct 180-degree turn in her attitude.
Sister Gia, you're up. Why do you look so pale? Is it ... that you're not happy about what happened yesterday? Sigh, it's my fault. I was too straightforward with my words.
She's really good at acting. Thinking that I was about to terminate the contract, I didn't want any unexpected troubles. So I just sneered and sat down in the seat farthest from her. The new fans who came in after seeing the edited clips and the old fans who had been waiting for the live stream, naturally, started scolding me again when they saw this scene. Let them scold. Anyway, I can't see it. I'm too lazy to check Song Shin-yu's reaction. I'm eating the breakfast provided by the program team, with great relish. Don't mention it, although the malicious editing by the program team is annoying, their cooking skills are really good. Song Shin-yu saw that I was just burying my head in eating, and she also felt it was boring, so she gave up the idea of picking a quarrel. The other guests also got up one after another soon. Unlike yesterday, they couldn't stay comfortably in the villa today. Today is the first date day for the amateur guests. They will be paired up in twos and go on dates at several scenic spots arranged by the program team. And we observers will also be divided into groups to follow the amateur guests and record the details of their dates. The program team is really good at making things complicated. I just can't understand how these ordinary guests can have a proper date with a celebrity followed by cameras behind them. And indeed, as I thought, the pair of guests I am in charge of are quite socially anxious. I'm not quite used to facing the camera. Looking at the cameraman following behind me, both of us felt a bit awkward while walking. Because it was really too awkward and uninteresting. There were basically no people in my live stream, except for netizens who were scolding me. I applied and then closed the live stream.
You can just have a good time. No need to worry about things here.
I looked at the 2 young people in front of me, who were just in their early 20s, with a loving expression, although I myself am not that old. But seeing them, I still have a feeling of nostalgia for my youth. When the 2 heard my words, they were a little surprised, but immediately smiled gratefully.
Thank you, Sister Gia.
Those who can arrange a date in the first stage must at least have some feelings for each other. Without the cameras, the male and female guests had a much more relaxed time. I see it and only feel relieved, as if I have returned to the time when I hadn't become a venomous woman. It's just that the other groups were obviously not so peaceful. It wasn't until everyone had finished their dates and returned to the villa that I found out what outrageous things had happened in the other groups. The male and female guests in Bai Feng's group had a disagreement, arguing directly in front of the camera, and they were just one step away from pulling each other's hair. The female guests in Chin Chin Wan's group directly turned into little fans when they saw the follow-up observers, and didn't notice that the male guest's face was getting worse and worse at all. Netizens have already sharply commented that this is the most dramatic dating show they have ever seen. The other 2 groups are still quite normal. However, Song Shin-yu was clearly a bit distracted, and no one knew what had happened. It wasn't until it was her turn to review today's date that she regained her previous calm and composed demeanor. She was assigned to the group with Ki Ziming and Meng Keel.
Well, Ki Ziming performed quite well. He has been taking care of the female guests all day today. He is very gentlemanly, and indeed very handsome, ...
Realizing that she had talked a bit too much, Song Shin-yu quickly stopped.
But it still depends on his subsequent performance. I hope he can stay firm all the way.
Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed her ears had turned red for no reason, which struck me as a bit odd. But I didn't think much of it. Since my live stream was shut down, everyone wasn't quite sure what had happened with the guests I was following, so I just gave a brief explanation, saying that they were making good progress. The bullet comments still have a lot of complaints about me. They say that I turned off the live stream, and wonder what I was thinking. That I intentionally didn't give the ordinary person any screen time. And some even suspect that I might have taken a fancy to the male ordinary guest, and turned off the live stream to harass him. However, the viewers who made such remarks were quickly banned. This time, there were fewer negative trending topics. I guessed it was probably someone who watched the show and called him after the live broadcast ended.
Honey, did you take down the trending topic? Thank you.
You're welcome. It's what I should do.
The man on the other end of the phone had a deep voice, and his tone was very ordinary, with no intention of claiming credit. I just love how emotionally stable he is. After showering him with compliments, I received a 500,000 yuan transfer from him. Note: buying snacks is a voluntary gift. I accepted it immediately. After being affectionate for a while, I asked my son,
"Where's Ken? Did he miss me?"
He went to participate in the competition. Before leaving, he asked me to tell you that he would win the championship.
Good boy, truly, my offspring. Tell him not to be too tense. Too much pressure will affect his performance.
I let out a chuckle, chatted for a few more minutes, then hung up the phone, walked out of the room, and got ready to pour myself some water. As I reached the stairway, I heard a faint rustling sound. It seemed like a man and a woman were talking.
Do you really like me? I can tell you clearly have feelings for her.
Baby, of course I like you. What I have with her is just for the script. Didn't I make it clear to you when we were in the haunted house?
It better be a script, otherwise I'll break up with you.
The man's voice sounded somewhat familiar to me, but I couldn't tell who it was. I immediately recognized the woman's voice. It was Song Shin-yu, who had just changed her personal signature to stay away from men yesterday. Whoa, that's a big piece of gossip. I've had quite a lot of contact with the observers, and I've heard their voices enough that I wouldn't fail to recognize them. It is certain that that man is neither Lu Sheng nor Qin Xinwan, who is in a romantic pairing with Song Shin-yu. Then he can only be an ordinary male guest, participating in a dating variety show. Then, thinking back to Song Shin-yu's dazed expression and red ears when she came back in the afternoon, I had a very bold guess. Could it be that she is with Ki Ziming? I covered my mouth, looking shocked. It's really unheard of for an observer to be with a male guest on a dating show. Over there, Song Shin-yu had already started acting coquettishly again.
Honey, did you say that handing over your salary card when you're in a relationship is also part of the script?
No, that's not it. It's my true feelings, baby. I will always be firm with you. Tomorrow, I'll bring my salary card and give it to you. Okay, baby?
Okay, I'll wait for you.
Song Shin-yu's voice was as sweet as if she had eaten honey. I thought of the way she had been putting on a persona before, and shivered. Taking advantage of the fact that neither of them noticed, I sneaked back to my room. I didn't think about exposing them, but I just feel a bit uncomfortable after all. Ki Ziming keeps saying that his initiative towards Menkil was all part of a script, but does Menkil know about this? The live broadcast on the third day also started on time. There were no dates today, though. The program team asked the guests to roll up their sleeves and prepare a sumptuous feast by themselves. When she heard that they couldn't go out, Song Shin-yu's face didn't look good. But when the program team said that they would share some of the meals made by the civilian guests for them to comment on, her expression changed from cloudy to sunny. I guess she probably wants to try Ki Ziming's cooking skills. The 5 of us observers are sitting in the observation room, watching the ordinary guests in the video, busy preparing dishes. Ki Ziming is still very attentive to Menkil. Menkil, who was a bit hesitant at first, now has only Ki Ziming in her eyes. She somewhat shyly helped Ki Ziming put on his apron. and the pink bubbles of affection between them seemed almost ready to spill out of the screen. During their casual chat, the guests also brought up the topic of children. This topic is quite delicate, as most young people nowadays are not very willing to have children. Among the guests, there were indeed divided into the Dink group and the group that likes children. Coincidentally, both Meng Keel and Ki Ziming like children very much. The two looked at each other and smiled, with a feeling that everything was understood without words. I remember that when I checked their CP Super topic yesterday, there were already tens of thousands of people. Probably, the bullet screen is already filled with people, shipping them like crazy. However, while the CP fans are overjoyed, Song Xinyu is clearly not that happy. She gritted her teeth, looking somewhat angry, and rightly so. Her boyfriend was being affectionate with another woman right in front of her. It's understandable that this would be really shocking. Maybe my gaze was too obvious. Song Xinyu noticed that I was looking at her, and immediately started finding fault.
It's fine if kids are sensible, but if they're not, they can really be annoying. Sister Jia, your child must be quite naughty, right?
She seemed a bit angry, and the words she said to me carried obvious aggression. Even netizens who have always been biased towards Song Xinyu couldn't help but type question marks in the bullet comments.
This ... isn't very polite, is it?
Indeed, I also think so. Is Xinyu in a bad mood today?
It's just plain rude, right? What a strange question. If Liu Jia's child isn't very sensible, isn't that directly rubbing salt in the wind?
Some fans also think there's nothing wrong with it.
But what does it have to do with Guan Xinyu that the child doesn't understand? That's the child's problem. It's Liu Jia's educational problem.
Exactly. That kind of doting wife would definitely not think the child is bad. Our Xinyu just asked casually, you all should stop making random speculations.
I pulled a long face. I can tolerate Song Xinyu using me as a tool, as a stepping stone for her to climb up. But I absolutely cannot tolerate her slandering Can.
My child is very sensible. He's not an annoying kid. Maybe.
Song Xinyu shrugged and said indifferently.
Anyway, I don't want to have children. Women suffer too much damage from giving birth, and they will also be bound by the identity of a mother. I've seen many people, after having children, they are greatly affected by hormones, transforming from independent strong women into mothers who revolve around their children. Obviously, the child is neither good-looking nor smart, but they have such thick filters, I can't accept it.
Probably because the marketing efforts a few days ago had paid off for her, she still used that kind of sober rhetoric. She wants to belittle me and belittle Meng Keel, who loves children, just to set off how cool she is. But this time, she lost her senses because of jealousy and went a bit too far with her words. I didn't intend to indulge her.
Xinyu, isn't your sense of superiority a bit too strong? Whether to have children or not is a personal choice, isn't it? You can choose not to have children yourself, but you must not criticize other mothers. As you said, many people are already going through a lot of hardship.
Song Xinyu let out a cold snort, full of disdain.
What kind of sense of superiority is this? I just can't stand their doting wife act. Clearly, you can live a good life without having children. So why have a child who doesn't even share your last name?
This statement was quite extreme. Even Best Actress by Feng, who is also a woman, couldn't stand listening to it. She frowned and said,
Xinyu, don't talk like that.
Song Xinyu finally stopped talking, somewhat reluctantly, but the bullet comments had already become a complete mess.
Oh my god, Liu Jia was right. There's such a strong sense of superiority here. Although I don't like kids either, I would never attack someone who's a mother.
I'm curious, was her mother also a delicate wife? When she gave birth to her, it seems she doesn't check her mother's last name either, does she?
The fans couldn't explain it well either, so they could only weakly post.
Xinyu is not a bad person. She's just too straightforward, and a bit low in emotional intelligence. She just has a bit of misandry.
This statement barely holds water. At least her fans have managed to deceive themselves. It's just that the feelings of those CP fans who originally shipped her with Qin Xinyan are complicated. They have all seen how Song Xinyu has been making misandric remarks these days. If she really hates men that much, Could the CP they are shipping be fake? Song Shin-yu still doesn't know that the trend of the bullet comments has changed. Nor does she know that some CP fans have already started to quietly unfollow. She stared fixedly at Ki Ziming and Mang Keel in the picture. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. Finally, she simply threw out a remark.
I'm not feeling well. I'll go back to my room first.
A few of us were left staring at each other in confusion. Chin Chin Wan, who was somewhat familiar with her, had to bite the bullet and explain.
Maybe she has a headache from not sleeping well. ...
The remaining few guests had no choice but to go along with what he said. It's just that, apart from me, everyone present has a higher status in the industry than her. For her to leave so impolitely like that, the comments section was once again in an uproar. The amateur guests, unaware of this little episode, continued cooking with great enthusiasm. The atmosphere was harmonious and joyful, until Ki Zimin's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, and his face instantly changed. Although he adjusted quickly. All of us in the observation room, the audience in front of the screen, and Mang Keel, beside him, noticed that his expression was unusual.
Ziming, what's wrong? Why didn't you answer the phone?
Mang Keel's tone carried a hint of curiosity. Ki Ziming tightened his grip on the phone, but in the end, he still didn't dare to answer it.
It's probably a harassing call.
His explanation was stiff and clumsy. Looking at his reaction, I guessed that the call just now was from Song Shin-yu. If Ki Ziming doesn't answer the phone at this moment, she will definitely be even angrier. Sure enough, after the call was hung up once, Ki Ziming's phone rang again. This time, he hesitated even more. He said to Mang Keel.
It seems to be my boss's call. I'll go answer it.
After Ki Ziming, feeling guilty, walked outside, Mang Keel in the room, hesitated for a moment, then still tiptoed to the door. The camera guy was also very cooperative. He tiptoed along and followed Mang Keel to the door. In the shot, Ki Ziming looked very impatient, explaining something to the person on the other end of the phone. Because the distance was a bit far, Mang Keel couldn't hear clearly, and neither could we. I saw a hint of hesitation flash across her face, but Ki Ziming's behavior just now was really too abnormal. So, Mang Keel gritted her teeth and moved a little closer.
Baby, it's really just acting. You know, I just signed with the company, and I have to seize this wave of traffic. I'll only cook for you from now on, okay?
Mang Keel froze, and the camera guy following behind her also froze. Everyone was dumbfounded. Except for me, who had guessed the inside story. No one expected Ki Ziming to say such a thing. He, who had always acted very proactive and sincere, actually had a girlfriend.
Oh my god, huge breaking news.
What bad luck, what bad luck. I hit a snag in shipping a couple again. How can they be actors in a live romance variety show?
It's so disgusting. How can someone with a girlfriend participate in a dating show?
The most dramatic dating show in history has appeared. I'm going to share it with my friends to take revenge on society. Haha.
I feel so sorry for our caller baby. Oh my god, I remember she said in a previous interview that she had been hurt in a past relationship. I thought she had met someone sincere this time, but it turns out he's another liar.
Ki Ziming probably heard the noise and turned around. When he saw Mang Keel and the camera operator, he panicked immediately. And his phone slipped from his hand and fell to the ground. The female voice on the other end of the phone was clearly audible.
I don't care. You mustn't be too nice to her. If you are nice to her, I won't want you anymore.
Hello. Ki Ziming, why aren't you speaking? Not knowing if the woman on the other end had realized something, the call was suddenly hung up, but it was already too late. The bullet comments exploded directly.
Oh my god, it turns out Ki Ziming's girlfriend also knew he was participating in the show. Isn't this fooling Keela?
It's a pity that the sound is too low. I don't know if it's just my illusion, but why does this sound feel so familiar?
You're not alone. I also feel like I've heard it somewhere before.
I sighed. Looking at Mang Keel's pale face in the camera, I really felt a bit sorry.
It's a good thing we've only been in contact for a few days. Man, you have to look up more and change more,
I said softly. Probably because it was strange to hear this coming from a married woman like me, everyone looked at me. However, since Song Shin-yu wasn't there, no one picked on me. They were just purely curious.
Jia, if you say that, won't your husband get angry when he sees it?
I replied nonchalantly.
I didn't say anything wrong. Even if we get married, if he doesn't do well, I'll divorce him right away and let the child call him uncle.
Those people on the bullet screen who were still scolding me for being hypocritical immediately shut up.
This sister that huh?
Oh no, I scolded the wrong person. This is not at all like a delicate wife.
Telling the child to call him uncle. How mischievous.
I've been wanting to say this for a while. Just because someone has a good relationship with her husband and kids, it doesn't necessarily mean she's a doting wife. She hasn't shown any signs of treating her husband and kids like they're everything to her, has she?
Oh right. Why do we all think that getting married and having children makes someone a spoiled wife?
Netizens who are good at reflecting noticed something was wrong. It seems that from the very beginning, Song Xinyu has been consciously or unconsciously repeatedly mentioning in front of the camera that I am married and have children. It was also her who stepped on me to establish an image of being clear-headed. Some people began to question whether she was really clear-headed, but her fans quickly suppressed these doubts. They still used the same argument, saying that Song Xinyu just lacked emotional intelligence. However, that very night, Song Xinyu had a public failure. That phone call during the live broadcast did arouse suspicion among some people. Someone specifically cut out this short segment and compared it, only to be surprised to find that this voice is extremely similar to Song Xinyu's voice. As soon as her comparison video was released, it immediately made it to the trending searches. Everyone was already discussing the fact that Qi Ziming, who was in a relationship, still went on a dating show. When they saw someone digging up information about his mysterious girlfriend, they all flocked to watch the video, almost crashing the video platform. After hearing the voice of Song Xinyu that the blogger had clipped, everyone was shocked. Wow, I'm really convinced. Isn't Song Xinyu an observer? She's with the guest, huh?
Wasn't she a misandrist? Oh, come on, it's all fake, right?
Damn it, Song Xinyu is still secretly dissing Liu Jia. Who is the real darling wife anyway?
Song Xinyu's timbre is still very recognizable. Even her fans, after listening to the comparison audio, can't say that it doesn't sound like hers. Moreover, others later dug up many details. For example, during the program recording that day, the bracelet on Song Xinyu's wrist was a couple's style, with Qi Zi. For example, on that day when they went out on a date, in the haunted house, Qi Ziming walked with Song Xinyu, but after coming out, he told Meng Qiu that they had gotten separated. Song Xinyu's fans are also somewhat disillusioned. Many people liked her because of her straightforwardness and the persona she displayed of hating men and loving women. Now it's known that perhaps everything was just a persona, and many people directly unfollowed and started bashing. Her CP fans with Qin Shenwan were even more angry, leaving thousands of comments in the super topic to vent their anger. The group of people in the company and Song Xinyu were all in a terrible panic. I just passed by her room and could hear her quarreling with her agent. Of course, I wasn't the only one who passed by. Almost everyone on this floor heard her roar.
I don't care. It was you who said you were going to use Liu Jia as a stepping stone for me. Now that something has gone wrong, why can't we pin it on her? Isn't her voice very similar to mine?
I just felt speechless. It's really my bad luck that my voice is similar to hers. She doesn't even use her walnut-sized brain to think when she was on the phone with Qi Ziming. I was sitting perfectly fine in the observation room. Pin it on me? Do I know the clone technique? Her agent wouldn't be stupid enough to do what she said. After scolding her a few times for being brainless, he hung up the phone. It didn't take long for Song Xinyu's Weibo to be updated. She posted a message, a moment of impulsiveness, we've already broken up. Unfortunately, many people are not buying it. The exposure of the relationship between the male guest of the dating show and the celebrity observer has pushed the popularity of this live dating show to an all-time high. Many people come here especially wanting to see just how dramatic this legendary most dramatic dating show really is. However, after this incident, Qi Ziming's contract was directly terminated, and he was forced to get off the vehicle. The next day, a new male guest directly took his place. which made many people who came to watch the fun sigh in regret, exclaiming that they had come too late. Song Xinyu managed to hold on and didn't quit at first, but whenever she appeared, the bullet screen was filled with insults directed at her. She's similar to me when I first started, and even worse off than I was back then. After all, she's also had a major collapse of her public persona, a really serious one. Song Xinyu couldn't hold on for more than a few days after all, and left the variety show in a dejected manner. In contrast to her, my reputation has improved a lot. Although I didn't take any initiative, she was in such a hurry to discredit me before that she ended up getting herself into trouble. And it seemed like I was immediately vindicated. In addition, regarding the speech I gave yesterday, many people think that my approach getting married and having children, while always maintaining my own bottom line and sense of control, is the most sensible. Overnight, I gained 1 million followers. The two troublemakers left, and the dating show has been going much more smoothly than before. At least it's starting to feel like a real dating show now, and several pairs of male and female guests are showing signs of attraction to each other. Mang Keel, who was badly let down by Qi Ziming, also met someone who truly and firmly chose her. And the young couple of guests I was in charge of from the beginning were so sweet that many viewers couldn't help but smile like doting ants. Before the last episode aired, quite a few people went to my Weibo account, which I hadn't used for a long time, to ask me if I had secretly eaten candy on the day I closed the live stream. I just replied with a cheeky dog head emoji, letting them guess for themselves. On the night after the hand-holding segment was aired, besides the outcomes of several couples on the hot search, there was an additional trending topic. #Liu Jia, quitting the entertainment industry. Participating in a dating reality show was probably when I was at the peak of my popularity. But I didn't change my mind because of that and continued to stay in the entertainment industry. Originally, I entered the entertainment industry to act, really, just to find a job. Now that I don't like this job anymore, I definitely have to change to another one. The audience members who came to like me because of the show were really reluctant to let me go and persuaded me to stay under my Weibo posts for a long time. I replied with, "See you, if fate allows," then completely logged out of Weibo. However, even though I no longer use my main account, I still have a small account for surfing the internet. Song Xinyu's original good public popularity was completely gone due to the character collapse incident. After the popularity of this matter subsided a bit, she had other tricky operations. She thought no one would notice, so she quietly deleted the Weibo post announcing the breakup. However, someone noticed immediately. Netizens who love to gossip even dug up the fact that she and Qi Ziming hadn't actually broken up at all, and that Weibo post was just sent by her agent on her behalf. Song Xinyu loves it very much. Her few fans almost all left because of this incident. The company was also thoroughly disappointed with her and stopped providing her with any resources. Song Xinyu didn't care about her career at all. She and Qi Ziming even talked about meeting each other's parents and preparing for marriage at one point. But they eventually went their separate ways. The reason for their breakup was that Qi Ziming cheated on Song Xinyu with an intern from the same company. Song Xinyu, in a fit of rage, posted over a dozen insults about that girl on Weibo. Passers-by mocked her and questioned why she was reluctant to say even a single bad word about Qi Ziming. She didn't even dare to reply. It wasn't until someone happened to run into her walking down the street arm in arm with Qi Ziming, who had a dark face, that everyone found out they had made up. As for me, I was brought up again because I attended a fashion dinner. At the dinner, those celebrities who were once more famous than me scrambled to sit next to me, hoping that I would buy the items they were promoting. Someone took a video and posted it online. For the first time, my name and the name of the tall and handsome man beside me, with me wearing high-end couture and high-end jewelry, appeared next to each other and made it to the hot search. No one would have thought that two people who seem to have nothing to do with each other are actually husband and wife.
Oh my god, isn't this man the boss of New Family Technology? He and Liu Jia, oh my god, Mo Family, Mo Jia.
So, Sister Jia, was it true what you said on the variety show before that you get 1 million yuan in pocket money every month? I was being narrow-minded. Sister Jia, does your family need stone lions? My previous remarks have been dug up again. I said that men should change partners more often. And there are people who love to stir up trouble going to the company's account to ask what my husband thinks. He directly replied using the official account.
At least she has chosen me now, which shows that I'm still quite good.
The person who originally intended to sow discord between the husband and wife never expected that he would actually feel proud. Then, after racking his brains, he finally found a point to attack. They questioned why my husband, being so wealthy, didn't help me have an easier time in the entertainment industry. My husband was quite confused.
A career is her own business. Jiaja said that not interfering in it is the greatest respect I can show her.
The trolls were left speechless. Later, my son won the gold medal in the competition, and my husband directly gave away 100,000 yuan on the official account to celebrate. Only then did everyone realize that my son's name is Lu Qianqian. He is good-looking, does well in his studies, and has an excellent family background. Most importantly, he takes my last name. None of the things Song Xinyu said back then came true. Netizens have been asking me to open a class to teach them how I managed to have such a good husband and raise such an obedient son, and they say I am so blessed. I logged into that Weibo account which I hadn't used for a very, very long time, and only posted one sentence.
Because I'm good enough. I'm more than enough for them. They should be secretly happy about it.